Welcome to Mid-Mo-J. This week we're going to make a quick video on some calling tips. I had planned on doing some decoy strategies, some in-the-field strategies, but the weather hasn't really cooperated with the wind, so it had a tendency to blow my decoys around. So we're going back here in the house and we're going to talk a little bit about different types of calling, when to call, how to call, and just best practices when you're calling. So first we're going to talk about call preparation. So you can't really start calling if your calls aren't prepared. So first thing we're going to do is we're going to clean off the end of our striker. This is a little rosewood striker of mine. We want to get the end clean. You don't want any filings or dust or if you're using one of the crystal calls, don't have any crystal particles in it. And we need to rough up or prepare our surface. This is a slate call of mine. It's a Primo's Jackpot. I highly recommend it. It's a good call. I've called in several gobblers with this call. It has a good sweet sound to it. It's good for on the roost, and it's just good for all around calling. So I'm going to rough up a little portion of it here. As you can see, it's been kind of roughed up around. I've been practicing. But what you need to do is I wouldn't rough up the whole surface. Just start in a spot, rough that spot up, and then work your way around as you go. That way, the wear on it's fairly even all the way around, and your call will last longer. If you're continuously rubbing it, your call is not going to last near as long. Now I'm going to talk to you about a little bit about just how to use the call. I'm not going to get too in depth about using it. It takes a lot of practice to get used to any type of call, mouth call, box call, or just a pot call like this one. But a typical way to use a pot call, you start on the outside, it's going to be a higher pitch. You go towards the middle, it's going to be a higher or a much deeper tone like a Jake. And typically the way I do it, you'll see people that do you don't want to pull the striker up off the surface. You want to keep it down to the surface. And the way I've always said is you kind of make like a C shape or an oval shape as you're going, and you're at about a 10-degree angle from vertical. This call likes to cluck, so that's why I use this call a lot, because I do as much clucking and purring as I do anything. To cluck, it's just basically just a pop, pop. That's all there is to it. So you can go. And then the purr, you're just kind of dragging it along the slate. Okay, you just want that sound. What I always say is you kind of wear a groove into it. And at first there I was a little bit off. That's mainly because I didn't have the groove wore into it. And as you can see, I've got kind of a wear there. So I start working that groove once I get it going. So let's first talk about calling to a gobbler on the roost. You've walked in, you got a gobbler on the roost, you know where he's at, maybe you put him to bed, and you're within 100 yards of him. A lot of guys go in and sit down and they're going, just letting him have it. He's gobble, 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 gobble. 7:30, gobble, 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 gobble. Is he ever going to come off the roost? Well, he might by about 8 o'clock. So, what are you doing wrong? It's take a breath. You call to the gobbler on the roost. Natural thing is for hens to go to a gobbler. So if a hen's calling a lot to a gobbler, he ain't going nowhere till he sees the hen. He sees the hen, especially on public land. Public land, they want to see the hen, they want to know it's a turkey, and they want to go to it. Okay? So if you're calling a lot to him, he's not going to come off the roost. What you want to do is sit down, get comfortable, get your stuff out, get your gun set, and just do some light, soft calling. Just some soft calls. When he gobbles, just kind of be quiet. When a turkey first wakes up, they don't want to get too vocal. And a gobbler's gobbling his butt off, but a hen don't want to get too vocal. She's just waking up. You just do some soft tree yelps, just And you don't get him too excited, just enough to let him know you're there. And if you're worried about the other hens that are there with him, well, that's a different story. You need to try to get yourself between them and him. If you're just trying to call him off the roost, don't get too crazy. Maybe some soft purrs. Just to pique his interest. All you're wanting to do is pique his interest. So maybe he flies down off the roost and comes to you. So now let's talk about, you do have a stubborn gobbler on the roost. He doesn't want to come off. Or you just want to make it more realistic, calling to him. You can do a fly down. And basically what that is when a hen is getting ready to fly down, she's looking around. She's going to kind of go put, 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 put. And then she's going to cackle as she's going cackle, 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 and she's going to hit the ground. Okay? So what you're trying to do is you're kind of trying to mimic that. By yourself, it can be kind of hard. If you have a buddy with you, it's easier to do. But I'm going to show you kind of what I do if I'm doing it myself. Typically, I won't do the cackle. I'll just kind of do a put, 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 put. And then take my hat, flutter it, and then, so here we go. And what you might do is you might crunk the leaves a little bit. She's now walking, she's scratching. That's how you do a fly down. If you got a buddy with you, you can do the cackle. So your buddy's doing the hat. So assume while I'm doing the cackle that your buddy's doing the hat. And if you're good, you can do it with a mouth call. More power to you. I can't really do it with a mouth call. I hit that a little too hard. Mind you, I'm still practicing. See? That's the cackle. Okay, now we're going to talk about, okay, you got his interest peaked. He's hot. He's wanting to come. So what do you do? A lot of guys want to go gobble, gobble, gobble. Gobble, gobble, gobble. Okay? You can do that. You can call him in that way. I've done it that way. You got one really hot, he'll come in. Okay? He's looking for a hen, he's hot, he'll come right into that. You get a leery one, it's a little bit different. I had one last year on the last day, very, very leery about coming. He'd step a little bit, gobble, step a little bit, walk circle, gobble, really leery about coming to me. So how do you deal with a gobbler like that? That's where soft calling, purrs, clucks all come into play, okay? You got to really put it on thick for him to want to come. And a hen will cluck, putt, purr as much as they'll yelp. So if you're doing a lot of yelping on public land, you're not going to have the best of luck after the first week or so, okay? Because they're used to having all them yelps thrown at them. And a lot of their communication is based on clucking, purrs, okay? So in the later season, I'm not yelping all that much. I'm just going to go... He gobbles, okay? And I may not even yelp. I may just go straight to clucking. Just, hey, I'm over here feeding. Come join me. I'm pecking along. That's what, if you ever actually take time to watch a hen when she's feeding along, she's just clucking, putting along, just put, 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 put. And in later season, that's really all the hens are going to do. And you might throw in a little soft calling, just to get him fired up, just enough that he can hear it too, because the hens typically won't be as loud